listen to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hearst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, into the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hearst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew, guys. We are here. We are in the building, and we are live, man. I am going to have a lot of fun on today's episode because the pressers that I've been waiting for finally happened, man. They finally happened, and y'all just don't know how excited I am. Before we do all that, though, I got to run through some formalities really quick, so let's go ahead and get them out the way. If this is your first time here on the YouTube page, we hope you guys enjoy it, and if you do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. I don't like those colors. I don't like those colors. What is happening? Why is that not doing this? Like, that should be that. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, if this is your first time here on the YouTube page and you enjoy the show, please give it a thumbs up, all right? Also, subscribe, turn your notifications. Let me know how you found the channel, all right, and what you would like to see from 49ers content creator, okay? Give us a follow on some of our other social media platforms as well. We have X, we have Snapchat. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. That is nothing but the number 9 ERS. Okay, so Nothing But Niners, but the number 9 is in there. And then follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. You know what? I should go live on Twitch as well. I could probably go live on IG also, but you know, that's all right. I'll just go for Twitch right now. Boom. All right, so we are live now on Twitch as well. Make sure you guys give us a follow over there. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. That is spelled all the way out. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. You guys know that one of the things that I like to do is dig into the pressers. Oh, look, I'm so excited. Hold on. Guys, patreon.com also. Patreon is going crazy right now. We got some content dropping for you guys, a lot of content dropping for you guys. There's even more coming soon, so make sure you're there. Patreon.com/NB9ERS is the page. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. Okay, make sure you guys head on over there, watch us, follow us, all that good stuff. Tell everybody about it, okay? Now, there's a couple of things going on with the Niners, and not just the Niners, the NFL. So I want to talk about a few things really quick, right? Me and Tupac are going to have a conversation with you guys, all right? And then, so what I saw today, when I woke up, by the way, when I said Tupac, something about my shirt here. All right, boom, 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 right? All eyes on me. I saw this morning that the Cowboys had acquired Pickens from the Steelers, right? And it was like, man, like they really desperately needed another wide receiver, and they went and got one. And it's like, do you applaud that kind of effort? Do you what do you think about it? But then what it got me to thinking, that's what I want to ask the chat, is if there is one position or one player that you would trade for to make the 49ers as close to complete as possible, who would that player be? We got the coordinators in, got the coaching staff that we all believe in, we got the rookie class and all that. But if there's a player out there to go and pick up, if there's one player that you want the Niners to pick up, who would it be? So I'm asking that question to the chat right now because I've been thinking about it. It's been really hard for me to figure it out, all right? It's been really, really hard for me to figure out. I'm not quite sure what the one move is. All right, but let me take a peek at this chat right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Let me make some noise for you guys. You guys are awesome. Round of applause for y'all, because, the show is all about you guys. All right, it's all about you guys. In the words of Tupac, it's all about you. All right. Yeah, Boach, I agree. He says, great interviews today. Yeah, I can't wait to get to them. I don't know if they're great or not, but I wanted to hear from those guys, so I can't wait to see what they're talking about. Is this an AMA episode of NBN? What's AMA? Like American Music Awards? Or is that happening right now? Is the AMA happening now? Am I interrupting? Uh-oh. We interrupt this program to bring you a special report. All right, let's see when AMA is. American Music Awards, the AMAs. I don't want to share my cookies. Live May 26th, so it's not today. All right, DeMarcus is in the building. He says, what's up, everybody? What's going on, DeMarcus? How you doing, man? Boats is back. He says that he likes the special teams coach. Yeah, I can't wait to hear from Brent Boyer, right? Like, there's so much that I want to see and hear. Like, these guys, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Clay, the bar is low, bro. Like, I know your title, and I do believe you bring something to the team, right? But you got to, like, I'm not going to skip the presser. Like, I don't want to make people think that, but I do think that maybe I'm going to listen a little less. I'll be a little less attentive. And not on purpose either. It's just that, like, we know Kyle is really, like, the play caller here. I'm not saying that you don't have a job or you don't have a role or you don't contribute. I'm not saying that at all. At all. So please, like, it's going to come off that way. I don't mean it, though. I don't mean it. I promise I don't mean it. All right? I feel like I'm too low. There we go. Oh, damn, y'all can see my coal cooker. It's hot. All right. Ooh. So, yeah. So, I don't want it to seem like I'm hating on the guy, because that's not what I'm trying to do at all. But let's see what he says. I want to see what Kubiak says. Boyer, I definitely want to hear from. Salah, I've been dying to hear from. So this is going to be good. My girl Peachy is in the building. What's going on? Let's go. Let's go. Good evening, Mike and Faithful. She's hoping everyone's doing well. Peachy, hope you're doing well as well. Boat says, right here, Mike Evans. Okay, I can see that, especially this year. But we got some rookie wide receivers. We got Cowan coming back. We got Pearsall coming back. Ayuk will be back at some point. I think that wide receiver, and we got Jennings. I'm just saying, and this is going to sound crazy. Do I want to say this? Do I want to say what I'm about to say? Y'all deserve it, so fuck it, I'm going to say it. I don't think Mike Evans is going to bring anything to this team that we don't already have in Jauan Jennings. Jennings just don't get the amount of targets that Evans gets. Evans is a better route runner, yes. The speed, though, right now today is about the same. The size is about the same. The contested catch, it's about the same. It might lean towards Jauan Jennings, right? If we gave Jennings the targets that Evans got, we saw what Jennings was doing this year, and he still didn't get the targets that Evans got. Jennings was about to have a 1,000-yard season. Damn, now 49ers Twitter is going to say that Mike thinks that Jauan Jennings is Mike Evans. That's going to sound crazy on the playback. It's going to sound crazy, but it is what it is. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I just don't think that Mike Evans is going to bring anything that Jennings isn't going to bring right now. But it's not a bad pick. Come on, let go. There we go. All right. DJ Malone says tight end too. Now, here's the thing with the Niners and UCM tight ends. When you say tight end too, what kind of tight end do you want, DJ? Like, do you want a guy that's going to run routes? Do you want a guy that's going to be a pass catcher? You want an inline blocker, an extension of the offensive line? Because the Niners have tons of those guys that are extensions of the offensive line. What we don't have is a producer from the tight end position. We don't have anybody that's going to come in and give us 40, 50 yards every other game. That guy doesn't exist for the 49ers from the tight end position. I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like that, right? Like Njoku, right? Like I would go out and get a guy like that. I like that. I like what you're thinking there. but we don't really use them, right? So is that the problem? Is that we don't use them? We're not putting those guys in the positions to be those guys. Do they want that? I don't even know if this team is looking for that, so I don't know. Mark says here, Jalen Ramsey or Minkah Fitzpatrick. You want somebody in that secondary. You want some secondary help. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Safety, corner, I'm not mad at that. Keenan Allen. Okay, so y'all are looking for a sure-handed veteran. Y'all looking for a sure-handed veteran because the Keenan Allen, the Mike Evans, Jawan Jennings. I think we got him. Spot him, got him. I just think that. I think that. Now, both of these guys do more with the ball in their hands after the catch than Jennings does. I will give y'all that. I'll give y'all that. Both of those guys are going to do more. But that's about where it stops. I don't know. All right. He says Dwelley is a Band-Aid. I get that. Asante Samuel or Keenan Allen. Okay, the younger corner, right? Again, secondary wide receiver. So nobody has said a offensive lineman. Nobody. And this. I wanted, Wayne and I were going to do a show today, but Wayne was on the road, and I was like, I'm going to go spend some time with the family. I took my kids to the dog park today, right? Like, we got out. We took the dog out. Well, I took my daughters. I shouldn't say my kids. My son wanted to stay home, so I let him stay. But we took my dog out to this dog park, and, like, you ever get disappointed in, like, your pet? Like, all right, so, like, if you have children, your child could do something, like, and, like, embarrass you, or you'd be like, yo, like, we're going to work on that when we get home, right? I had that moment today with my dog. We get to the dog park. He's the biggest dog out there by far, and it's not close. So dog parks are split, 35 pounds and up or 30 pounds and less, right? Like, that's how it's split. So we go to the big dog side, and my dog is towering over all the dogs on the big dog side. Like, there were Dobermans out there. Like, it didn't matter, right? German Shepherd, it didn't matter. My dog is he's just massive out there, okay? These two dogs, like, giving my dog smoke. Like, they like, sniffing at him. My dog just backed up. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. He ain't growl back. He ain't snap back. He ain't even let his fur stand up. He just wanted to run around and play. That's cool because, like, I don't want my dog to get it shaken at the dog park, right? Like, I don't want that. But, like, they bullying you, bro. Like, they looking up at you and they don't know how to take it. Like, you just got, like, bark. Like, let that thunderous bark just shake him up real quick. Make them jump back. He didn't run. He didn't look like a little bitch. I'm saying that because he's a dog, right? He didn't look like a little bitch. But he also didn't, like, stand his ground. He just, like, what are you doing? Like, is that how we play? This is only his second time being at the dog park, by the way, I think. Maybe third. But I just didn't like it. It was one of those things where it was like, And so then this one dog, he did it twice. And the guy was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to take my dog away. He doesn't like other dogs. Then why the fuck did you bring him to a dog park, bro? Like, what was the purpose in that? If your dog doesn't get along with other dogs, don't take them to public dog places. Don't walk your dog around PetSmart without a muzzle on if your dog doesn't get along with other dogs. It's just a bad scenario. So now your dog is snapping at my dog, and then it runs up to my kids to play. No, get your little punk-ass dog away from me and my kids. Because if he does that to one of my kids, it's going to be a very short discussion. A very short discussion. I'm not my dog. Anyway, all right, I'm sorry. Let me get back to it. I don't even know how I got on that whole thing here. Oh, yeah, I was saying I wanted to have this conversation with Wayne today, but we were busy, and I decided to take my family out. So we went out to the dog park, got some ice cream afterwards, got my dog some ice cream. He's been eating 2 bowls of food, and he's ready to go to sleep. He ran his little heart out today. And my dog has a little, they said he might have a heart condition, so all the active stuff is, like, bad for him. So, yeah, I wanted to know what Wayne's thought would have been. Minkah, what does it say here? Minkah would be the CF Earl Thomas that this defense has never had. Oh, the center fielder Earl Thomas at this Okay. Yeah, no, that would be dope. Oh, ask me anything. Look at y'all telling me what AMA stands for. I thought it was AMA night. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, whatever. All right. But no, this isn't going to be that. I'm going to watch them get asked questions. I'm going to talk about it. Ramsey would let Demo man the slot and allow Stout to get on the field and dime packages. I want Demo outside. I want Demo to lock down the team's best wide receiver on the outside. Let a slot dude be a slot dude. Let Demo go out there and talk the shit that he talk and back it up the way he backs it up. But Ramsey and Demo would be pretty dope out there. It would be. I like the idea of the center fielder though. I do like that, Mark. I like that a lot. All right. Boat says hi to everybody. All right, I think that's it. So nobody else wants to trade for anybody else, right? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Michael Martinez. Here we go. We got something a little different here. Hold up. Hold up. This is good evening, Mike. Honestly, we need a free agent linebacker that's decent. Don't know who's out there, but at least for depth. Now, again, when I'm talking trades, like you go and get your guy. You go and get whoever you want. I'm just wondering who it would be. I'm not asking about trade compensation. I'm not asking about, like, oh, well, we shouldn't give this up. Don't worry about money or anything. Give me one player that you think would take the Niners and put us over the top. One player. I'd be cool with Ramsey as a free safety. I just think he wants top dollar. Ask Mike anything. Oh, I see what you did there, Peachy. I see what you did there, girl. Now I'm going to start using that. I'm going to have to put that in the tags for March Madness going forward. March Madness AMA. Ask Mike anything. All right, here we go. DeMarcus says, I love Salah's commitment and appreciation to the organization. Did you hear him thank us? No, I have not listened yet. So, DeMarcus, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to play those, and I'm going to watch them live. So I haven't seen them. You guys are going to get to see me go through it. I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts and all that stuff. What about Gabe Davis? Okay, switch up at the wide receiver position. All right. Okay, better not say reload. I'm just saying there's a lot of bodies there, Mike. I'm just saying there's a lot of bodies there. That's all. That's all. It's a lot of bodies there. Yeah, both, and I agree here. Tight end 2 is always blocking. See, like, and we got that in George. We just don't use him like that. So, yeah. All right. Let me get out of here, man. Let me go ahead and get to these conversations. I know y'all are like, Mike, like, stop rambling, but it's cool. Mike, what did you think of Kittle, Reed, 2 tight end set offense would have looked like over the course of it? Well, that's the thing. Reed was old by the time we got him. I like it at face value. I didn't like it when it was like here. You know what I mean? And I like the Vernon Davis, Delaney Walker combination that the Niners had years ago. Like, that was my favorite tight end duo right there. And Delaney Walker was a switchblade. This dude did it all. He played fullback. He lined up at running back, H-back, I should say, right? Special teams, kickoff teams. He was a gunner. This dude did everything. Like, we should have a tight end, too. And a hell of a pass catcher. Hell of a route runner. Had more speed than people gave him credit for, too. He was fast as shit. Like, I love Delaney Walker. If we get another tight end like that, oh, man, mwah, chef's kiss. But we got to use him. I just don't know if they would use him. Oh, look at that. See? Exactly the advice I would give. I'm a former PetSmart. But exactly. I hate when people walk around with their damn dogs and you know your dog is aggressive. Get your aggressive dog out of here before I put it down. I'm not that person. Now, I'm not going to put a dog down over my dog. Like, if my dog and another dog get into a scrap, I'm not like mad about that. Even if my dog loses, as long as we can break it up, you know, those wounds heal. But if your aggressive dog comes after me and my kids, especially my kids, it's a wrap. I've gotten rid of my own dog because he got aggressive towards my kids. Imagine what I'll do to your dog. I don't give a shit about. Should we get Clowney? It couldn't hurt. I'm not the biggest fan of Clowney, but I think that at the right price, he could come in here and just chill. You know, he could be a good guy to have that some depth, 5 or 6 sacks a year, some pressures on the quarterback. You know, not all that against the run, but in his new age, he's gotten a little bit better at it. Parsons, see, okay, I see what you're cooking with here, Mike. Like, right, cool. Parsons would set the Niners defense over the top, especially with what we just added in this draft. Like, holy smokes, would that put us over the top? And just find a way to get him on the field. Just find a way to get him on the field. Don't tell me he's an outside linebacker. He's got to play this. Put him on the field and let that man play. That would be dope. That would be dope. C.J. Mosley, okay. Was Salah's linebacker 1 in New York? Yeah, right? You go out there, you get him, and all of a sudden you put him next to, oh, my God, Mark. Like, see, now you all right, let me go ahead and get to these pressers, man. I'm not going to waste no more time. All right, that's all I had as far as Niners talk today. We did hear from the We did hear from all three coordinators today, and I can't wait to listen to what they have to say. So we are going to process the pressers. All right, here we go. Let's get Robert Saleh to the stage. Boom, there he is. Look at that big old bald head, that big, beautiful bald head. Oh, Robert Saleh, I miss you, buddy. I miss you. And no. The allegations against him, the Niners aren't even looking that direction. They're going to try to act like that's not why they're out on him, the Ravens, but that's what that was all about. So that's a no for me, boss. That's a no for me. All right. I am going to get to Robert Saleh now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right.
A lot of the same faces, but it's been pretty cool.
Does it feel at all like 2017, just as far as, all the changes that happen to defense and all the rebuilding that you have to do?
No, from a talent standpoint, Bosa's here. You've got
why is this bloody?
Obviously Fred, Demo, Ronaldo. There's a lot of really good talent on this defense. So it's not.
No, we're gonna refresh this. Hold on.
Hey, making Kachava is super easy. I like to do the blender mode, but I'll show you the shakers as well.
What, 17
years? All right, here we go.
What's the difference between you now and you when you left here?
Great question already. What's the difference between you now and when you left here, right? Like, how much have you grown? What's changed in that cranium? And he's going to talk. Knowing Robert Saleh is going to make a joke. I think he's had another kid or two since he's been gone. So he might even make that joke. But this is a great question. I want to know what we're getting in this guy.
I don't know. Obviously I've gone through the head coaching stuff, and, you learn a lot going through that. But I'm happy to be back in this chair where I get to coach a little bit more football and not deal with all the administrative stuff that comes with being a head coach. But, the perspective, I guess, especially, and that's what was exciting about coming back, just being in a building where I was once a coordinator and now having head coaching experience, to have that global view. So there's a lot of empathy for understanding what Kyle's going through and trying to help him out best I can. But so it's just, I guess, more experience.
Was there a temptation to go somewhere else where, you're working for another head coach or another situation?
No, and I mean that. I have a tremendous amount of respect.
This guy is good. So he gets asked, were you tempted to go anywhere else? He takes a deep breath and says, no. I wanted to pause it right then and there and say, I call BS. But then he said immediately, and I mean that. Like, it wasn't even like it was. No, and I mean that. Like, it flowed so well. I rewound it a bit, mainly because I want to refresh
the perspective, I guess. Especially, and that's what was exciting about coming back. Just being in a building where I was once a coordinator and now having head coaching experience, to have that global view. So there's a lot of empathy for understanding what Kyle's going through and trying to help him out best I can. But so it's just, I guess, more experience.
Was there a temptation to go somewhere else where, you're working for another head coach or another situation?
No, and I mean that. I have a tremendous amount of respect for this organization. Obviously, starting at the top with Jed, he's phenomenal. But Kyle, his family, John, Prague, they gave me so much. And during the first 2 years, if you think about those first 2 years as the coordinator in 17 and 18, it wasn't easy. And
I like this.
And it could have been very easy for them to move on from me, And so I'm indebted to this organization, to those men for the rest of my life. They stuck with me, and we made it happen. We did what we needed to do, and the rest is history. But and I'm excited about the opportunity to get a chance to do it again with them.
Has your defensive scheme evolved at all since you were here the last time?
Yeah, for sure it's evolved. You're always trying to stay 2 years ahead of the offense, and when we went to the Jets, there was a lot of different things that we started to do, and even now, while we have some things from the Jets, there's stuff that has evolved over the course of the last 4 years here, and obviously with the league that there's stuff happening. So we've. Over this off season, a lot of really cool concepts, a lot of really cool things. So some things are the same, some things are the same from the Jets, some things are mesh, some things are coming in that's new. So it's like I said, we're trying to stay a couple years ahead.
Let's go.
A lot of it may seem similar, but there's a lot of nuance that makes a difference.
Let's go. I love all of that. Are you kidding me? Yes. Yes. And shut up. Yes, it's true that 17 and 18 weren't good years. What's not true, they could have walked away from them. There wasn't anybody coming in here. There wasn't anybody coming. Kyle doesn't know how to hire a defensive coordinator. If it doesn't come from within the building already, it don't happen. We can call that Wilkes thing or whatever y'all want to call it, but that wasn't it. That was Kyle thinking that he could be defensive coordinator and head coach and offensive coordinator all at the same time. All at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But this man is back, period. I don't care about what it took for him to get back. I love this answer about, just growing and talking about empathy and all that stuff, right? So he wants to make his head coach's job as easy as possible. I love that answer. But I loved hearing even more that the schemes and the plots and the plans have changed, and you want to try to stay 2 years ahead of offense. That means that they're doing a lot of college film studying, right? And so how do we combat that? I love hearing that. I haven't heard an answer like that since D'Amico, maybe? Shit, it might be since Robert Saleh. It might be since Robert Saleh. Yes, I rebounded a bunch. I'm going to shut up. Here we go.
It wasn't easy. And it could have been very easy for them to move on from me, And so I'm indebted to this organization, to those men for the rest of my life. They stuck with me, and we made it happen. We did what we needed to do, and the rest is history. But I'm excited about the opportunity to get a chance to do it again with them.
Has your defensive scheme evolved at all since you were here the last time?
Yeah, for sure it's evolved. You're always trying to stay 2 years ahead of the offense, and when we went to the Jets, there was a lot of different things that we started to do, and even now, while we have some things from the Jets, there's stuff that has evolved over the course of the last 4 years here, and obviously with the league that there's stuff happening. So we've. Over this offseason, a lot of really cool concepts, a lot of really cool things. So some things are the same from the Jets, some things are meshed, some things are coming in that's new. So it's like I said, we're trying to stay a couple years ahead. A lot of it may seem similar, but there's a lot of nuance that makes a difference.
When you try to say
I fucking love
a couple
it.
years ahead, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that you have to kind of project where you think offenses will be?
For sure. There's always trends with offenses, and you can get an idea of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to get done, and you're just trying to pick up on those trends. I don't want to get into too much detail, but
there you go.
But you're always trying to stay ahead of them.
Could you get into a little bit of detail with the younger guys? Obviously, a few weeks since the draft. What are you thinking of the rookies so far?
Excited to get them out this weekend, for sure. A really cool group of kids that are coming in. All are going to have an opportunity to compete to get significant playing time this year. But it's exciting to get just the injection of youth to go along with a lot of the veterans that we have on this football team. So. It's exciting. It's going to be fun to work with them.
Jed sort of joked about it, but how much of a role did you actually have in terms of this draft?
That was the other reason why it was exciting to come back. This organization, and no pun intended, with it being the gold standard with regard to collaboration and communication. Most buildings maybe spend a week in terms of communication between scouting department and coaching staff with regards to the draft. This organization will spend 3 to 4 weeks just grinding on tape, offense, defense, special teams, and going deep into the 7th round undrafted free agent type players. And I think that's why this organization has had so much success finding day 3 picks that come to fruition, and even undrafted free agents that end up having success in this league. So when it comes to finding players, this organization does a phenomenal job with collaboration, and let's be very real. Like there's still a process that needs to be followed, and the board fell our way from a defensive standpoint. Now there's a lot of.
He's being nice, he's being political, but the question was, Jed joked about it a lot, but how much input did you have, and who the Niners selected, and maybe at least the positions. Now, maybe he's going to get to it because he's good like that. Oh, man, I miss Robert Saleh. I did not realize how much I missed him until just now. He's good like that. He might still get to it, but I want to hear that answer. I want to know. and kudos to him for giving the scouting department credit and this team credit, right? Not just 1 week of them working together, 3 or 4 weeks of them working together and doing all this. So that's cool. I like hearing that. I do. But let us know for real. Like, did you come in and say, hey, guys, this defense needs a lot of help, and I'm going to need some answers up front early? Like, come on now. Let's go.
The guys on offense that were graded higher than that offense was excited to go get, but they got pulled off the board, and it, I was standing in the back of the room like, hey, I got a guy. but it happened the way it happened, but there was tremendous collaboration through the process.
Has it always been like that, or has the draft process evolved over time?
I like that answer also, because that coincides with something that oh, shit. I don't know if I talked about it yet, or I don't know if I released that episode yet. It might be something I did on Patreon, maybe. But it coincides with something that I heard John Lynch say, that they didn't plan on going with 5 defensive players in a row, but the offensive players that they got ready to pick were taken. And it was like, all right, well, we're not going to just get that position because that's the position we were going to get. We're going to get our next highest rated player on the board. So that does coincide with that. I like hearing that answer from Saleh. That was good.
Go get, but they got pulled off the board, and it, I was standing in the back of the room like, hey, I got a guy. but it happened the way it happened, but there was tremendous collaboration through the process.
Has it always been like that, or has the draft process evolved over time?
It's always been this way here. Kyle and John do an unbelievable job. You'd be hard-pressed to find people who do it as good as they do.
This defense, I mean, obviously last year it fell off. So when you were here last time, you preached extreme violence, all gas, no break. Do those principles need to be reinforced here now?
I think it's gonna come just with all the youth. There's a lot of empathy for what happened to the group last year. There was a lot of things that. Through the halfway point, this defense was playing some really good football, and there was a lot of injuries, and the wheels kind of fell off during the last 4 weeks of the season. And so for the coaching staff and the players, there's a lot of empathy in terms of like, man, you're doing your best. It just doesn't work. It didn't work out, but you still see it all. I mean, these guys play their butts off. I thought Nick and those guys did a really nice job, and it's just. It's bringing in this youth, getting them caught up to what the standard is, and doing our best to uphold it.
Robert, can you describe what your role was?
There's something there.
When you joined Matt last year, and
There's something there with this empathy thing. He's saying it too much, right? And I don't want to be negative, but if you're going to walk around and be emphatic towards everybody, oh man. I think you realize that it's easy to be better, right? Like you can do better. Like if you feel empathy this much, it's almost like you pitied what this team went through. Like you pity us. This dude he's saying something. You know what? Never mind. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
Did that new perspective?
What'd you do with the Packers last year?
For coming back to this role?
Yeah, I joke with Matt. I think it was more therapy for me than it was for him. Than I was a help for him. But it was just trying to give him a defensive perspective regarding looking at from an offensive standpoint, watching the defense, and giving them thoughts on rules and what may or may not work. But I'm again forever grateful for Matty for opening the door to this building and allowing me the opportunity to work there. Just because of the from a mental space, it was like I said, more therapeutic than anything for me.
Following up on that, Robert. Following up on that, when you took some time to kind of reflect on your time in New York, like what did you learn about yourself as maybe a man or a coach, a little bit of both?
It's you learn a lot. I've said it before. There is no handbook for a first time head coach. There's no handbook for first time going through life, right? So, you learn a lot through the process. You figure out a lot about yourself. You learn, you understand and pick up. If you look inward and you look in the mirror, you can identify some of the things that you did wrong and some of the things that you'd like to do differently. But there's anytime you get an experience that's different than the ones you've always experienced, it's you have an opportunity to grow, and so there's been a lot of self-reflection and growth in that regard.
Coach, lean on some rookies this year. What would you like to see from those rookies in this rookie camp?
Just come out and compete. You know, no expectations right now. It's they've got a long way to go with regards to understanding what we do. One, the standard at which we play, and the style of ball that we expect them to play, and then on top of that, you got the scheme and understanding all the nuance that we're going to ask out of them. And so they got OTAs, training camp, and it's going to be a crash course. And if any of them are worthy, they'll be on the field week 1.
Coach, a couple more guys. Anytime that you go from, in any profession, a 2 to a 1, going back to a 2 is not always easy. Was there ever hesitation or doubt, thinking maybe I should just sit out a year rather than go back to being assistant and wait, for another head coaching opportunity in a year?
No, we're creatures of habit, man. I couldn't imagine waking up, and it sounds good. Wake up every morning, take my kids to school, go golf, and then go watch tape. But coaching ball was always the option 1.
First
when
thing here.
John and Kyle, or whoever it was.
I love that answer. Was there ever a second thought about, going from a 2 to a 1 back to a 2 again? Meaning,
what 17 was?
Being
between you
the head
now
coach
and you
versus
last year?
going back to being a coordinator.
I don't know.
I love
obviously
that he
gone through the head coaching
he
stuff.
said
and,
it right away. No,
you
not at
learn a
all.
lot going
creature
through
of
that.
habit,
But I'm happy to be back
Like
in
he
this
said
chair
all
where I
the
get to
right
coach a
shit
little bit more
there, man.
football and not deal with all the administrative stuff that comes with.
And he's happy to be back. He's happy to be back. Like, I'm not going to sleep and then saying, all right, I'm not going to work this year. I'm going to take some time off. I made a couple of million as a head coach, so it's cool. No. He lives and breathes this thing, man. For real. Oh, I love it.
Time to kind of reflect on your time in New York. Like, what did you?
You learn a lot through the process. You figure out a lot about yourself. You learn you understand and pick up. If you look inward and you look in the mirror, you can identify some of the things that you did wrong and some of the things that you'd like to do differently. But there's any time you get an experience that's different than the ones you've always experienced, it's you have an opportunity to grow, and so there's been a lot of self-reflection and growth in that regard.
Coach, lean on some rookies this year. What would you like to see from those rookies in this rookie camp?
Just come out and compete. No expectations right now. It's they've got a long way to go with regards to understanding what we do. One, the standard at which we play, and the style of ball that we expect them to play, and and then on top of that, you got the scheme and understanding all the nuance that we're going to ask out of them. And so they got OTAs, training camp, and it's going to be a crash course.
Any of them are worthy,
and if any of them are worthy, they'll be on the field week 1.
I don't give a damn where you were drafted. I don't care where you were picked. If any of you are worthy, they will be on the field. All right, I'm never going to get through this if I don't stop. I got to let this play.
Anytime that you go from, in any profession, a 2 to a 1, going back to a 2 is not always easy. Was there ever hesitation or doubt, thinking maybe I should just sit out a year rather than go back to being assistant and wait, for another head coaching opportunity in a year?
No, we're creatures of habit, man. I couldn't imagine waking up, and it sounds good. Wake up every morning, take my kids to school, go golf, and then go watch tape. But coaching ball was always the option 1.
Your first thing here.
John and Kyle, or whoever it was, reached out to you, did they remind you, hey, remember, we could have fired you?
He never has to remind me. It's always on my mind.
Your first stint here, there was so much talk, especially.
Remind me. It's always.
Hey, remember, we could. John and Kyle, or whoever it was, reached out to you, did they remind you, hey, remember, we could have fired you?
He never has to remind me. It's always on my mind.
Your first stint here, there was so much talk, especially after they.
I don't know if I like that question. Like, hey, we did you a favor by keeping you, so now do us a favor because we need you. And then you ask it that way? Wait. I don't know if I like that. That's kind of cold. I do kind of like it though. Like I like it like when I'm in my smug, smart ass mode. Like I like it, but I don't know if I like that. Anyway, all right, cool. Here we go. Let's get back to it.
They signed Sherm about tall corners, and obviously I think the high profile seems to have changed. Has the scheme changed a little bit to where that 6'1" to 6'3" corner may no longer be the exact prototype anymore?
It was that, you're right, in 17 and 18, and then as we evolved, 19, there was a major shift in the way we did things. So when we first got here, we installed the Seattle system as I learned it. And then as a staff, we kind of evolved. We brought in the wide 9, and we started implementing some quarters, and then our third down pressure package completely changed. And so the profile has changed at all 3 levels. I'm not going to detail out what those profiles are, but over the course of the last, call it 8-9 years, it's changed significantly.
Some of the guys that you picked, you drafted, drew comparisons to guys that you coached in the past, Nick Martin to Dre Greenlaw, C.J. West to D.J. Jones. Do you agree with those comparisons, and was that sort of a conscious thing for you to look for types that have worked on this defense in the past?
No, you're always going to have a comparable just to give people reference, but they're their own individual players. The way they'll be used, like for me, I don't want to pigeonhole any of those guys to being, even though those are great football players, why can't they be more? And so they have a unique skill set and unique traits that probably remind people of those players, but they're their own individuals, and it's going to be exciting to see how they turn out.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate y'all.
We didn't draft the next nobody. We got the real deal. Huh? I don't need you to come in here and be DJ Jones or Chris Jones or what's my man's name? The defensive tackle for the Jets. We didn't get you to be him. We got you to be you. Don't ever put a limit on yourself. Why can't they be more? You damn right. And Niner fans got to stop acting like DJ Jones is the best defensive tackle in the entire NFL too. That is not the good. That's not the standard. Definitely be more than that. No shade to DJ Jones, but reality is reality. Okay. No shade to DJ Jones, but reality is reality. All right. Like we got to stop doing that to them. Quinnen Williams. That's what his name was. Thank you, Boats. I didn't get you to be the next Quinnen Williams. It's a hell of an accomplishment. Like he said, those guys are good, but why can't they be more? Man, solid. Oh, my God. I love this guy. Welcome
traits
back.
That probably remind people of those players, but they're their own individuals, and it's going to be exciting to see how they turn out.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right, good. Clay, win me over, buddy.
Role here change with the new title?
Not much. I think Kyle references after the season, but I think a lot of what I've kind of done the past couple of years has been, coordinator-esque type of work, and so probably I'll keep doing a lot of the same things I've been doing. I think some things kind of naturally change when you get a new title, but for the most part, we're doing the same work and putting game plans together and getting our guys ready to play.
Kyle did some things like
what 17 was.
What's the difference between you now and you when you left here? Here change with the new title?
Not much. I think Kyle references after the season, but I think a lot of what I've kind of done the past couple of years has been, coordinator-esque type of work, and so probably I'll keep doing a lot of the same things I've been doing. I think some things kind of naturally change when you get a new title, but for the most part, we're doing the same work and putting game plans together and getting our guys ready to play.
Kyle did some things last year he hadn't done before, giving you play calling in the preseason as well as the Week 18 game. What did that mean to you, and what did you benefit, or how did you benefit from those experiences?
Yeah, it was great. I appreciate him doing that. I think for him, from his perspective, just giving somebody else a chance to call it and kind of see the game like a play caller, it definitely helped me. It's going to help me, from here on out, and I appreciate the opportunity. And so hopefully I can take those experiences and just kind of apply them to, how I'm helping us game plan, kind of helping us in games, because it's invaluable. So, yeah.
Obviously, you haven't had a chance to kind of match wits with Sal on the practice field yet, but just what's it been like having him around, and kind of what kind of interactions have you guys had?
last few years?
It's great. Yeah, Coach Saul is awesome. He's, obviously has a lot of experience. He's a really good defensive coach. We haven't done a ton of just sitting down talking X's and O's, but obviously watching the Jets defense past couple of years, going against them, just a ton of respect for their scheme and how hard those guys play. And so it's going to be fun competing against those guys in training camp and in the off season. But he's just great to have around. He has so much wisdom and experience, and it's been awesome so far.
Clay, in terms of the offense, can you, I guess, define exactly what Christian McCaffrey's importance is to have him healthy? Yeah,
I mean, you guys saw in 2023 how important he is to what we want to be as an offense. I mean, he's an elite player, and we're going to do everything we can to get him the ball, as much as we can. And so, yeah, his health is really important. He's one of our, central players on offense. We want to hand him the ball. We want to throw him the ball. How he changes defenses when he's on the field for how they have to play us in certain coverages, right? And certain, putting more guys in the box to stop the run. Like, it has an effect on the opponents. And so Christian's doing great. He looks awesome. And we're pumped up that he's out there working every day. So I look forward to getting him back out there full time.
Coach, I'm curious to know.
I like that. I like that. That's
at this point in the offseason.
I'm not going to say that he's wowing me at all so far, but I do like that answer because not for nothing, you're going to be the highest paid running back in the NFL or second highest. We're going to use you. And he's a hell of a weapon to have out there on the field, right? Everything that he said was absolutely true. They play us different. They have to play us different. You know what? I mean, we said it when we got him here, right? He is what Kyle kind of wanted Debo to be, right? Debo's not a running back. He's not a running back. He can go out there and run some packages, sure, right? But that's the answer I want to hear. I want to hear that when we get him out there, he's going to be screwing with the defense's minds. That's what I want to hear. That's what we expect. That's what we should see out of Christian McCaffrey when he's back. I like that. I like that answer. I'm happy to hear that they plan on using him a lot this season. All that, overuse him, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. That's what we're here for. That's how we win games. That's how we make playoff runs. That's how we become good in the playoffs. That's what I like to hear.
That you've had specific conversations with, like, we need you to make this type of jump or a big jump in the offseason coming into next season because we're looking for you to produce a lot more. Is anybody, if any, on the roster that you've had those conversations with?
I wouldn't say pinpoint anyone in particular. I think everybody who's coming back, all of us, all the position coaches, myself, we've had conversations with guys. We've set the expectations for them. I don't want to single out players, but you think of the younger guys who were maybe rookies last year, guys like Ricky and Jake who did really good things, and there's always a jump in your second year, and so you're kind of talking through that expectation and what you think they need to do to be consistent and to make that jump and to be consistent NFL players. So that's ongoing with everybody, no matter if you're Kittle and you've been around or you're a younger guy. There's always kind of a resetting and defining what we expect going into the year.
You mentioned Jacob. You seemed mostly restricted to special teams last year. Is the plan this year to get him involved more, in the offense and the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get Jake as much as involved as he shows his growth and development and what kind of camp he has. And Jake has done an outstanding job of showing up to our offseason in great shape, and he's getting better. And Kyle says this all the time, but it's so important for young players to show up to the offseason just ready to get better, right? They're in great shape. They can take these limited practices that we have with them to grow and get better, and Jake is doing a great job. He's had a great offseason. He's given himself a chance to get to camp and compete and to really contribute on offense. So.
And what about Ricky?
Ricky's really in the same boat. I mean, him and Jake, I think they trained a lot together this offseason, and they look awesome. It's just physically, they're out there, and they are getting better every day, right? And so Ricky, both those guys are similar because they kind of had setbacks.
I like this, guys. I got to pause it. I got to interrupt. And I know we got another 15 minutes of conversation to go through and another coordinator to hear from. I love that answer. It wasn't, we're going to see him. Listen to what he said at the very beginning of this. It wasn't, we're going to see him out there on the field no matter what. He's got to earn it still. The question was, is he going to do more than just special teams? Well, it depends on how he's coming in here. I'm not just giving this job away. Kyle's not just going to give him a role because he's on the roster. He's given himself an opportunity to get better and earn those snaps. That's what I like to hear. Don't just come in here and praise everybody, right? Like this is a negative answer about a player that sounds positive. We're not just giving you shit. You got to come in here and you got to earn it, especially at that position. Listen.
And Kyle says this all the time, but it's so important for. I mean, we'll get Jake as much as involved as he shows his growth and development and what kind of camp he has.
We'll get him involved as much as he's shown us he's grown. If he hasn't grown, y'all gonna see the same exact shit as last year. I love it. I love it, right? Find a way to answer the question honestly without sounding like an asshole. I'll sound like an asshole for you. If you come in here doing the same shit you did last year, you won't be on the field. You're going to be on the field just as much as you were last year. You're going to get the same amount of targets you got last year. I like that. I like it. Let me be the asshole for you, Clay. I got your back, bro. I got your back. You come in here doing the same bullshit that you were doing last year, you're going to get the same results. But you trained hard this offseason. You came in shape. You ready to grow. You hit the ground running. Him and Ricky were both training. Boom. Then he comes in with the extra compliments on top to say he's got a chance. There is an opportunity to be had. I love it. All right, I'm going to shut up.
To get him involved more, in the offense and the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get Jake as much as involved as he shows his growth and development and what kind of camp he has. And Jake has done an outstanding job of showing up to our offseason in great shape, and he's getting better. And Kyle says this all the time, but it's so important for young players to show up to the offseason just ready to get better, right? They're in great shape. They can take these limited practices that we have with them to grow and get better, and Jake is doing a great job. He's had a great offseason.
Boats, I know you said you're just playing, but that's why I'm glad he's gone. That's exactly why I'm glad he's gone. No more just giving somebody reps. And that person that you're just giving these reps to has to have a certain set of plays that he can run. Like, that was a huge handcuff and handicap on the development of this offense as a whole. As a whole. Especially once you took CMC out the mix. We were crippled, basically, from that moment forward. You never told Debo he had to come in here and earn it, and if he worked better in the offseason, practiced better in the offseason, he would get more reps and more snaps and all that stuff, right? We just didn't do that because Debo came in, and Kyle had plays for Debo, and Debo was going to get carries and touches, period. It was just going to happen. Didn't matter if defenses knew what they were or not. It's just the Debo package, and that's it. I just started this thing. I've never played franchise mode on Madden before in my entire life. My cousin started me one a couple days ago. And so when you do this franchise, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but the one that he had me doing, I picked the Niners, obviously, but I drafted the entire roster. I think I got maybe one guy who's actually a 49er on the team, right? Like, so I didn't get anybody that's a Niner, but I'm representing the 49ers. Anyway, my point is, when you're going through the plays, the offensive plays, it says Debo packages. Like, that's one of the, like, it's like formations, coaches' suggestions, Debo packages. The fact that that even exists in a video game is kind of insulting. It's kind of insulting. Think about what you did to this team in the offense and the development of those players. I don't know. All right, let me shut up. It's cool. I'm going back to good answer here, Clay, and keep going.
And he's given himself a chance to get to camp and compete and to really contribute on offense. So.
And what about Ricky?
Ricky's really in the same boat. I mean, him and Jake, I think they trained a lot together this offseason, and they look awesome. It's just physically, they're out there, and they are getting better every day, right? And so Ricky, both those guys were similar because they kind of had setbacks, in the offseason. Jake had, I think, an injury. Ricky had his issues in the offseason. So there was kind of a slow progression into the season for different reasons. And we expect both those guys to keep improving the way they are and to be big contributors for us.
On Cam's question about.
Did he just say that Jacob Cowing had an injury? Did y'all know about that? Did he just let the cat out the bag? Now, he did say, let me get that comment off. He did say, let me turn these closed captions back on here real quick. Hold up. He did say that they both, talking about Ricky Pearsall and Cowing, he did say that they had similar off seasons, and we knew about the, click, click, boom. to Ricky Pearsall. I didn't know that Cowing. Am I missing something? Did Cowing have an injury? Did he let something slip? All right, Clay. This might be your only one, buddy. They might not let you back at this podium again. Be careful.
And Jake had, I think, an injury. You know, Ricky had his issues in the offseason, so it wasn't. There was kind of a slow progression into the season for different reasons, and we expect both those guys to keep improving the way they are and to be big contributors for us.
By the way, I want to be clear. He was talking about last offseason, not this offseason. There's no injury this offseason. What he's saying is that they both started the season slow due to setbacks, and now they're doing this season the exact opposite. They've been working hard, they've been training hard, and they've hit the ground running. So I want to be clear. He's not saying that he has an injury this like right now. That's not what he was saying. All right, I'm gonna shut up again.
You know, both those guys were similar because they kind of had setbacks, you know, in the offseason. Jake had, I think, an injury. You know, Ricky had his issues in the offseason. So it wasn't, there was kind of a slow progression into the season for different reasons. And we expect both those guys to keep improving the way they are and to be big contributors for us.
Following up on Cam's question about Christian, is there anything that you feel like you guys need to do differently to make sure, as much as in your control, to keep him healthy?
I wouldn't. I mean, you're always cognizant of the reps you're putting on guys, especially in practice. You know, and we do that with Christian all the time. We monitor his reps. And you got to be smart when you're in games. You got to be cognizant of how much they're out there. Christian's a really hard guy to take off the field, and for a lot of reasons. One, because he's a great player, but two, because he does not want to come out. Sometimes there's a battle, and so it's just got to balance those things out. You know, you got to be aware of it. You know, sometimes you got to pull him off the field every now and then. But you know, that's part of what makes him a great player. Is he's so competitive and he wants to be out there. But it's on us as coaches to try to do the best we can to balance it out.
Brock's had ownership of this offense for a couple of years now. How has he kind of started this offseason program? Kind of blocking out the obvious distraction of the contract.
Brock's been great, and you know, Brock has almost 3 full seasons, like 2.5 full seasons of tape now, where he can really look at his cut-ups and look at his games over that time period, and just kind of study himself and see, you know, where he's gotten better, where he needs to continue to get better. You know, he's a great student of himself. He wants to study himself. He wants to see where he can improve. He wants to be told the truth about what we think about how he can improve. And so he's had a great offseason so far. It's kind of what we expect from Brock. Yeah.
What was it about Mac Jones that made you want to target him as a second?
You know, going back to college, like we obviously studied Mac.
We got the Mac Jones questions. I'm glad that was all on mute because I had a little Tourette's thing there. But I'm hyped. I like this. We got the Mac Jones question, and I told y'all, I said, no, it was a good thing I was on mute. I had a little Tourette syndrome like Mac Jones. I did a Beanie Siegel thing, but it's good that it was on mute. Trust me. So I told y'all that this was going to be someone's aha moment, whether good or bad, but this was going to be it. Someone's going to say, I told y'all we should have. Or someone's going to say, this is why we didn't. All I'm saying is, this is the moment right here. I needed to hear the Mac Jones question asked to the offensive coordinator. Great job. Oh, yeah, come on. Let's go. Let's get it.
Season so far, it's kind of what we expect from Brock. Yeah.
What was it about Mac Jones that made you want to target him as a second?
You know, going back to college, like we obviously
back to college. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
We studied Mac coming out, and we thought very highly of him and his skill set as a thrower, and the things he did in college, and then obviously as a rookie, what he did in the NFL was very impressive. Mac's a really good thrower. He stands in the pocket. He's a strong guy, and he's really smart. And so he's got a lot of traits that we like for a starting quarterback. And you know, his career is he's kind of gone up and down a little bit the past couple of years, but we saw the same things in Jacksonville that we loved about him as a college prospect, and that really excites us. And he's doing a great job. And you know, I think Mac's capable of being a starter in this league, and so he's going to help us if he needs to.
What version of Brandon Ayuk are you expecting to get? And maybe
it is not, I repeat, it is not quarterback controversy at all. Not trying to make it sound like that at all. Let's just see. This sounded a lot like the Jimmy Garoppolo talk, right? Like he's a great thrower of the ball, and he's a great quarterback, and he's a starting caliber quarterback. And we all knew that y'all were over Jimmy, right? But this felt a little different. It was the same words, right? Almost like Kyle saying, I was having flashbacks over here as he was saying it. Almost the same words, but this means something different. Here's where I'm going to end this. The whole thing on Mac Jones. I'm going to end it right here, right? I will be very interested to see when Brock Purdy gets paid. That's all I got.
Starting quarterback, and his career is he's kind of gone up and down a little bit the past couple of years, but we saw the same things in Jacksonville that we loved about him as a college prospect, and that really excites us. And he's doing a great job, and I think Mac's capable of being a starter in this league, and so he's going to help us if he needs to.
What version of Brandon Ayuk are you expecting to get, and maybe at what point in the season is a realistic expectation for you?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon's doing great in his rehab. Expectations, it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. I mean, I know Brandon's working really hard. It's really hard to define those things, and I know he's doing everything he can do to give himself a chance to get back on the field. And I know that when we get back for camp, he's going to be working every day and just busting his butt to get ready to go. So that's all we can ask for. He's got the right mindset. We'll look forward to having him back out there.
Is this timetable uncertain? How much pressure does that put on Ricky to step up in some ways, and how do you help him manage those expectations as he continues to progress?
I don't think it's pressure. I think Ricky sees himself as a starter. He wants to be a starting receiver, and whether BA's out there or not, I think Ricky has that same expectation of himself, and we wouldn't want it any other way. That's how he saw himself last year. I think that's just how he is naturally. So.
Clay, what did you like about Rourke in the draft lead-up?
Yeah, a big, strong thrower, a guy who stands in the pocket and goes through progressions, and he's got a really good arm. So all those things you look for as far as the talent. He was very, very tough. He played injured through this whole year, and he took a program that kind of hadn't reached the heights that it reached last year, and he took that program to the playoff. And so, just all those things combined: the physical tools, the toughness, the leadership. He's a winner. We think we got a really good player.
It seemed that so many people talked very highly of Brian Gracie when he was here. What specifically did he bring to that quarterback room that you think really helped it excel, and what do you think that Mick is going to offer in his replacement?
Yeah, I mean, Brian's the wisdom and the experience that he brought, being a former player, being someone who's been through the rigors of an NFL season, through the emotional highs and lows. He truly brought a calming sort of presence into that room for those guys on a week-to-week basis, and kind of reset them every week and got them ready to play. And always appreciative of Brian for doing that, and that was awesome. And then Mick kind of brings a different background. Mick's been a coach his whole career. He's been around football with his dad and his family his whole career. So Mick's brings that coaching background that maybe Brian brought more of the player's background. And so Mick's awesome to work with. He's been in a lot of places, and he won a lot of games, and so he's bringing a lot of experience as well.
Is Juwan Jennings set to have that number one role again with Brandon Ayuk's return?
Yeah, I mean, I think you ask Juwan, he says I'm number one, and that's his mindset, and that's why we love Juwan. That's how he sees himself. He sees himself as a dominant player. I think you guys all saw last year when he got more chances, he played really, really well. So really fired up about Juwan.
Like your last name, like Kyle, like other people around the league, it comes with advantages. What are the challenges or difficulties that having your family around?
Fam, he is killing this presser. Fuck it, I like it now. I told y'all I didn't know how I felt about the Robert Saleh question. We're like, hey, did they call you? Like, hey, don't forget that we didn't fire you, like, hey, we did you a favor. Come do us a favor. Now he's asking about NFL nepotism. Like, hey, your last name kind of helped you out, right? Like Kyle, his last name kind of helped him out, right? Like, let's talk about these benefits that you guys get. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is great. I want to know if he's going to last all year long. This is awesome.
Advantages. What are the challenges or difficulties that come with having your family around?
I mean, I don't really see any challenges necessarily or difficulties. I'm very, very fortunate to be, have a dad who was a coach and who taught me so much about this profession. I got to be around pro football when I was younger and kind of see what it means to be a pro and what it means to coach. So I see those all as just blessings in my life that have helped me kind of where I'm at today. So I can't say anything was negative or a challenge. I'm very, very fortunate.
Do you find, I mean, maybe it's different here because there's Kyle, but an element of I really have to prove myself. I mean, I have to show that it's not my last name. Not really. I think everyone who works here, every coach, I like to say every player, we all feel like we have to prove ourselves. We all feel like we have to earn our job every day by the work we put in, by the results we get. And I don't see myself any different necessarily.
Thanks, guys. Lawyers ready.
All right, thanks.
All right.
He really just asked, he said, hey, so I know you're a Kubiak and all, but, talked about some of the struggles that comes along with it. Maybe some of the positives. And he said his answer was, there are no struggles that come along with it. I was fortunate to play with my dad and, learn from my dad, right? And then he was like, okay, so then do you think that you got any added pressure then? Like, since you don't see any struggles?
Not really. I think everyone.
This is awesome. Yo, he really went crazy with the nipple questions.
I have to prove myself. I mean, I have to show that it's not my last name.
It's not my last name that got the job, right? Like, he said, how do you prove yourself? How do we know you didn't just get hired because of who your daddy was? Huh? Like, how do we know? Like, what now what? Now what are you going to do? Show us, prove it. Like, how do you feel about having to prove that it's the skill and not the name? Like y'all wanted us to just get Terrell Owens' son. And we did. And where's he at? Like y'all wanted to just go and get Frank Gore Jr. Like y'all just be seeing like y'all just want the name. Well, we got a Kubiak. Well, we got a Shanahan. It's tough, isn't it? No, there's really no negatives to it. Okay, so then how do you prove yourself?
Not really. I think everyone who works here, every coach, I like to say every player, we all feel like we have to prove ourselves. We all feel like we have to earn our job every day by the work we put in, by the results we get. And I don't see myself any different necessarily.
Thanks, guys. Lawyers ready.
All right, thanks.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Coach, it's been reported that you really like Junior Bergen quite a bit. Tell us what you like about Bergen.
You're betting on the kid. Obviously, my son plays at Montana. He was as productive as a returner as it gets out there. If you want to say he has the it factor, I think he does. He's one of the hardest workers on the team. He's a great kid. He's going to come in here and do everything he can to make this football team. Teams tried to kick away from him all the time, and any opportunity that they gave him, he made the most of it, and that's what you're looking for. And we're wanting to create competition at every level, at every position on this team, and that's in special teams included. And that's what you've seen with us picking up a kid like that. And he's a hell of a kid, and I think he's going to come in here and he's going to work his tail off, and hopefully it works out. Whoever makes the team, who doesn't, that we're going to make a difference in the return game.
Brian, when you came here, did Kyle pretty much?
Question one. He knocks it out of the park. Straight out the gate, man. Straight out the gate. First of all, during the whole draft process, because we didn't watch every one of these games, right? Let's just be honest here, right? So we knew Junior Bergen was, and we were talking about this guy being this return guy and all that. It's like, well, there was only 8 returns. It was only 8 returns. So whatever the low number stat was that we were talking about over and over, it explains it. They kicked away from him all year long. All year they kicked away from him. And he talks about the work ethic and what makes him special, the it factor. Like, this kid's going to come in here, he's going to make us better. And if he gets beat out, that just speaks levels to the people who got beyond him. Like, that's, oh, come on.
Us
already
instilling
like confidence.
And he's a hell of a kid, and I think he's going to come in here and he's going to work his tail off, and hopefully it works out. Whoever makes the team, who doesn't, that, we're going to make a difference in the return game.
Brent, when you came here, did Kyle pretty much give you carte blanche, or did you have a lot of input into how special teams would be constructed from a personnel standpoint?
Well, I think it's been very, very positive from Kyle and John, as far as, what our needs were and everything like that. And I think you see some of the needs hopefully getting addressed, I think with them signing Weeks and, when a player like that becomes available, when a player like Saran Neal becomes available, when Luke Gifford comes available, guys that are good special teamers, guys that are proven in the league. And, I think that's a sign that this organization takes special teams, seriously. And I think it's really positive, and I really do.
A lot of ups and downs the first 2 years of Jake Moody. You come in.
He's
with
2 for 2, y'all.
A fresh set of eyes on him. What's your early take on the competition, or just how things stand with him?
Well, I think that, there isn't a special teams coach in this league that didn't have him rated #1 coming out that I know of. He's as talented as kid as it gets. I think that, the injury issue where he was fighting injuries, going back and forth, I think that had a lot to do with it. I think that, us bringing in Weeks is going to help. I think that, the kid gets his mind right, which I think he's doing. He's doing a hell of a job for us so far. I think he'll do a heck of a job for us. I really do.
Do you expect him to be your kicker?
Well, yeah. I mean, it all comes down to what happens, in the preseason and everything, just like in any other position, for sure.
Why does Weeks? Why do you think Weeks and Moody are kind of related?
Moody, we ain't giving you shit. You got to come in here and earn it, big fella. I think the kid's as talented as the film said he was coming out of college. I think the injuries were kind of holding him back a little bit last year. Do you expect him to be your kicker? Remember I talked about positive, negative, right? Kubiak had just did it. The positive, negative about cowing, right? Like if you keep practicing the way that you practiced last year, you're not getting opportunities on the field, right? Positive, negative, right here. Positive, negative, right here. Before it was negative, positive. This was positive, negative. I don't know which way I like more, but I like that you put them both out there. You expect him to be your kicker. Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to depend on how he does in preseason and this kicking competition. But sure, yeah, why not? Get your shit together. We are not just giving people special teams jobs just because anymore. We got somebody who gives a damn about special teams. You will not be the kicker just because you were the kicker. I don't care about your draft position. And if you're hurt, you're hurt. You shouldn't be out there. Oh, let's go. Come on, Brent. Let's go, Brent.
It all comes down to what job for us. I really do.
Do you expect him to be your kicker?
Well, yeah. I mean, it all comes down to what happens, in the preseason and everything, just like in any other position, for sure.
Why does Weeks? Why do you think Weeks and Moody are kind of related there? I mean, what does Weeks bring that will help Jake?
Well, I just know from experience playing Weeks against Weeks. I tried to rush him all the time, couldn't get him. Talking to the guy, hearing everything about him from everybody in the league, that there's nothing, not a bad word being said about the guy. Always appreciated the way he snapped the ball. Always appreciated the way he picked for his guys, and the way he's more of a picker than a cover guy. But when you ask him to cover kicks and everything like that, he has no problem doing any. He will tackle. So when a guy becomes available like that, I think that'll settle down the position a little bit. You're trying to get the operation right, and I think that the changes that we've made and the operation is smooth. I think it'll be a positive for this organization, for sure.
You mentioned Jake Moody getting his mind right. What is he doing off the field to make sure that he's confident?
Well, I don't know if it's getting his mind right, but I think finally being healthy is a huge deal. I think, like I said, adding Weeks is a big deal for him. So that total operation and being smooth and everything like that will certainly help the kid, for sure.
Brent, in fairness to Kyle, I think he would say his message about special teams is being misinterpreted. But last year and in the past, he said, we don't want special teams to win games. We just want to make sure they don't lose them. It was kind of like, well, I'm trying to be as good as possible. I mean, did you hear that? Is that a question you had during an interview, or if not, do you understand what he's saying?
I don't know who's asking this question, but this is a phenomenal question about special teams. It's well documented Kyle didn't give a shit about special teams. He all but said it before. And now you go and get one of the most well-respected special teams coordinators. Did you know that you were signing up for a team where the guy had this mindset about this unit? I love, love, love this question. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what the answer's going to be. But man, oh man, I love this question. All right, let me run the question back a little bit more, man. Come on now, let's go.
You know, special teams to like win games. We just want to make sure.
And smooth and everything like that will certainly help the kid for sure.
In fairness to Kyle, I think you would say his message about special teams is being misinterpreted. But you know, last year and in the past, he said, you know, we don't want special teams to like win games. We just want to make sure they don't lose them. It was kind of like, well, I'm trying to be as good as possible. I mean, did you hear that? Is that a question you had during an interview, or if not, like, do you understand what he's saying?
Well, I'm just here. All I know, guys, is I don't know what's said in the past or what's done in the past. I'm here to do a job, and my job is to help this team win, period. I mean, in this league, you've got to win 2 out of 3 phases, whether that's special teams offense, special teams defense, offense, or defense. You got to win 2 out of the 3. And that's what I'm here to do the best job I can, create a culture that it shouldn't be like punishment, to play special teams. And that's, I think, teams around the league, that moniker comes out, they're like, oh man, I don't want to play special teams. It shouldn't be like that. That's how I made a living. That's how a lot of people make a living in this league. And if you can create a culture that the guys know you give a damn about them, they're going to play for you. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Great. Thank you. Can you touch back?
Yes. Yes. What? I love what I'm hearing. I don't give a damn about what they said before. I don't care about none of that. It's not a punishment to play special teams. And coaches have to stop acting like it is. You need this phase of the game in order to win. Because if your defense sucks and your offense is struggling, you need field position from us. You need us. I don't care what they said before. I'm here now. I'm here. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Right? That's what I want to hear. This guy is not. I shouldn't be this hype about a special teams coordinator, but I am. I'm sorry, I am. That's how you answer the damn question. Did you know about it? Were you asked about it in the interview? I don't care about none of that. I'm here now. I could have not got the job. Even if I was asked about it in the interview process, who gives a damn? I'm here now. And it's a privilege to play special teams in the NFL. That's how I made a living. That's how other people make a living. It is not a punishment to go to special teams. And if you treat players that way, you'll get something out of them. You want to know why our special team sucked for as long as it did? It's because of the mindset Kyle Shanahan had about the special teams unit. That's why he's telling you. He's telling you that's why we sucked. He's not blaming it on Kyle. He's saying that shit matriculates its way through the building. It works its way down. I got a starred comment here. Oh, right. Oh, let's make some noise for my man Sean, man. 8-month member here. Let's go. He says, Mike, how many Red Bulls do you think this coach drinks a day? Be blessed, everyone. You think he's going to rock this special teams? Man, it's like 85 degrees here at 8 p.m. Yeah, I'm looking at how red he is. I mean, he's very red, especially when you go from Kubiak to him. He kind of reminded me, there was this movie, oh, man, with this big, like, devil dude, but it was kind of purplish, but red, too. Like, he reminded me of him. I can't remember what, was it Hellboy? Was it Hellboy? I don't remember. Like, he came on, like, that's what I felt. Like, he's got a really nice tan. Like, this guy is, like, red. So, cool. Good for him. Just stay covered up out there in that heat, and hope you guys stay cool out there, all right? So, yeah, stay cool. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already out there. I've been on this show for way longer than I thought. All right, let's keep this thing moving here. Great answer, though, by the way. I love that answer by him. And, Sean, thanks for being a member for the last 8 months. I got something coming to the members
living
tomorrow
in this league.
afternoon.
And if you can create a culture that the guys know you give a damn about them, they're going to play for you. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Great.
Let's go.
Can you touch back?
to 35 is going to have on the rate of kickoff returns, and how are you?
I think it's going to be huge. I think you're going to get a minimum of 70 to 80% returns instead of what was it last year? You know, it was like 30%. And it's going to skyrocket. Nobody's going to give up a 35-yard line drive start, in my opinion.
How much support does that put on?
Wait. Is that what the rule was? Is that what the rule change was? A touchback now goes to the 35 automatically? Just straight out the gate? There's quarterbacks that can throw 65 yards accurately. They're just giving that up now? So last year the returns were in the 30s. He's saying it's going to go up to 70 to 80 because we're not just giving up that much yardage. I didn't know that was a new rule this year. I thought they just changed it last year, like the zone shit, and if it bounced here, it goes there. They just must have redone it completely. I got to go back and see what they did at this NFL meeting. All right.
Jay.
Up a 35-yard line drive start, in my opinion.
How much support does that put on Jay on doing the kickoffs, the positioning of the kickoffs, and that part of it?
Well, I think your kicker is going to obviously have a huge role in that, but you know, also how much we work on kickoff and everything like that. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, you didn't have to work on kickoff very much because, you know, most of the people were booting them out the back of the end zone, right? But now you have to kick it in the field of play, you know, or you're going to give up that drive start, and nobody wants to do that.
Through all your experience with special teams, is there anything new you learned by having a son that's a kicker?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think that if you ask my son, he don't listen to dad very much, which all fathers, I'm sure, would probably tell you the same thing. It doesn't matter my experience or not. But he's done a hell of a job, and I think he's moving on to coaching. He's getting into coaching now, so I kept trying to talk him out of that one too, but unfortunately didn't get it done.
Looking at last year's tape, what's the number one thing that needs to be corrected on special teams?
My press people have woken the fuck up. They are asking the questions tonight. Oh, I like it. Oh, looking at the tape from last year, what is the biggest thing that need to be corrected? Oh, man, first of all, they've already corrected the biggest thing, right? Not the tape, whatever, the mindset has already changed. Just inserting Brant Boyer in here. Not hiring guy through fucking text message, right? That's the biggest improvement just right away. Not just giving the guy a job. Not just giving a guy a job. I would love to know if he is here because of Saleh. I do wish I knew that answer, but I don't care because I'm happy he's here right now. I'm happy he's here. But this is a phenomenal question. These press people, they're asking the questions, the nepotism question, and they owe you, and now this one here, like, oh man, did you know that Kyle didn't give a shit about special teams before you got here? Like, this is, y'all, this is doing me proud. All right. Shutting
What's
up.
the number one thing that needs to be corrected on special teams?
Overall mindset, guys. You know, at the end of the day,
It's what I just said. I didn't even know he was going to say that. I didn't know he was going to say that. It was the damn mindset. It's oh my goodness. What? What? How do you not like this guy? He's telling it like it is the mindset of this. Okay. All right. Mike, let him.
Last year's tape, what's the number one thing that needs to be corrected on special teams?
overall mindset, guys. You know, at the end of the day, this is a violent game played by men, and it's a special teams, a one-on-one matchup 90% of the time, and it's either you or him. And what it comes down to, and that's my whole mindset that I'm trying to get these guys to understand is it's either you or me, and it's going to be you. Period. And that's the whole mindset that I want these guys to understand, that we're here for them, we're here to make them better, and that's what it comes down to. And if I can make them better, we're all in good shape, because it'll help this football team.
How beneficial would it be for you to have Colt, another head special teams coordinator? He has that experience helping you on your staff here.
It's been awesome. I mean, I've known Colt since he was on he was playing when I was in as the assistant in Indianapolis, and he's always was the smartest guy and one of the hardest workers and stuff like that. And him and his family lived next to my family, and so you know, he's in Montana, and we're building a place in Montana. Like, a lot of synergies there, you know, and I've always kept in touch with him. And, and you know, our third, Ronnie Blair, is doing a hell of a job as well. So, you know, I think there's 25 or 26 years of playing experience between the three of us. And I think that is going to help and go a long way. I really do.
What's your perspective on, you know, coaching under Robert Saleh and now coming here with him, and you're both coordinators on the same staff?
I think it's awesome. You know, I think that, you know, the way I've seen him treat people and the positivity that comes out of him and the man that he is that I've got to know through the years and you know, now being here with him again, it's awesome. He is a hell of a football coach and a hell of a guy.
Brent, as it relates
Last
to,
one.
to Junior and just other, you know, gifted punt returners and your playing career, coaching career, what is I guess, is there a special quality as far as a sense of where people are on the field, or what is it that makes a great punt returner?
It's a very good question. Number one, can you catch the ball and make great decisions? And I think that starts there, right? Because the last thing you want to do is give up a possession, because you know, you give up a possession and that's winning and losing in this game. Some people have like a unique skill to set up blockers, and I always tell our return teams that the returner is the best blocker that you got. Some people know how to set them up and everything like that. Listen, we got to, you know, and he's got it, and he's got really good vision. He's got really good run skill. But we've got a whole group of returners, from Pearsall to Cowing to Taylor to all those guys that are going to compete for that job, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'm excited to see where it goes.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm happy. I am happy. They did it. They did their big one, baby. The Niners went out there, the media, the coaches. They did it, man. Oh, man. What an exciting day, man. Wow, those pressers were great. They did my heart proud, man. From the questions to the answers. Oh, man, these guys were honest. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it, man. This team has the chance to do something special. And I don't think this is just preseason hype. I don't think this is like just how everybody is 0-0 right now and no one's got a loss and, you know, everyone's undefeated, whatever the phrase is that they say at the start of every season, right? Like, this was great. This was, you guys ever, like, open up the jar of Vicks and, like, just inhale and it's like, wow, whoa, right? Like that feeling, right? That's what this was right here. That's what this was for me. This was incredible. So, you know, I'm looking forward to what this team is going to bring this year. Phenomenal pressers here. And thank you all for watching with me. I really do appreciate it. Y'all are great. What are my biggest takeaways here? Did Kubiak win me over? Nah, he didn't win me over, but, you know, I'm not against the guy. I want to make it clear, I'm not against the guy. All right? He said that his job didn't really change too much between last year and this year. And I think we kind of expected that. He said that there is some new responsibility that comes with certain titles. He didn't go into it. But it was cool that he got a chance to see how the play calling and all went. I'm imagining that continues, especially into the preseason. This is going to be awesome, man. This is going to be awesome, man. I really, really like this, man. Hearing from Robert Saleh, acknowledging and opening up about the differences between this team and the Jets, and then combining those two things and taking the what he needs to take from each organization and putting it there. He took some things from here with him to New York, and he's taking some things from New York that he did over there and bringing it here. And he talked about the growth and how they implemented the wide nine and how they got away from that Seattle-style defense with all the tall corners. I mean, it was just, it was so good to hear these guys be open and honest. Open and honest. I like it. It wasn't a bunch of jargon being thrown around. It wasn't a bunch of predetermined answers being given. At least it didn't feel that way. Didn't feel that way. So I'm going to take it for the win, man. Listen, guys, You all enjoy your evenings. I know there's some sports on that y'all want to be watching right now, but thank y'all for sticking it out with me. I sincerely appreciate it. I'm going home. I'm getting out of here. I got to check on the scores of some of these games, man. All right? Y'all be safe out there, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. Nothing but Niners. We nothing